to be making chickpea burgers with a cucumber salad and yogurt sauce. So before we get into it, first thing, they are very delicate and they can be a little bit tricky to make, but they're delicious, and even if they fall apart in the pan, you'll still really love them. So yeah, encourage you to give them a go, but yeah, you just need to be a bit careful. So yeah, all we're doing is we're getting canned chickpeas, going to drain the chickpeas, and then lightly process them in the food processor. And you want to just kind of chop them up. You don't want to turn it into like a paste like hummus or anything like that. And that's kind of critical. And then we're going to put in some spices, some ground cumin, and an egg. And the egg's going to bind, but it also makes it a very wet kind of burger patty. So it's kind of, and you also don't want to overmix the egg once you get it in. So kind of really just pulsing with the food processor, forming them into patties, and then you can either put them in the fridge until you're ready to cook them, or we're just going to heat some oil up and pan fry them about 3 or 4 minutes each side. And that's pretty much it. And in the meantime, while the chickpeas are frying, we're going to make a yogurt sauce just by getting some natural yogurt and seasoning it really well with salt and pepper, which takes it kind of, yogurt can have kind of this little sweetness to it, and that turns it into a really lovely creamy savoury sauce. And finishing off with just a shaved cucumber salad. So we'll hop into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make it. For our chickpea burgers, we're just going to, I've got a can of drained chickpeas, so I'm just going to pop that in the food processor, and I'm going to use some ground cumin, which is a really lovely kind of, they call it the curry spice because it's got, you know, kind of lovely earthy flavour, but you could use ground coriander. So we want about 2 teaspoons. And we're just going to whiz that until the chickpeas are finely chopped. Chickpeas in the food processor until they're closely chopped, but not kind of, we don't want it to be a puree like hummus. So that's looking pretty good. And then we'll just break the egg into a little bowl here. And we'll just lightly whisk it so it comes together. Pop that in the food processor, and again we're going to just puree to bring it together. We don't want it to turn it into like a really wet mess. So pull out the blade, and then again, but I'm just taking the easy way today. Just using some from a jar. So but we want them to be nice and dry, because otherwise they're going to make our patty too wet, our burger too wet, and we don't want that. So we'll just kind of chop through, and you just want them to be kind of roughly diced to give a bit of colour and interest into the patty, but you don't need to worry about it, stress about it too much. And we want to stir them in by hand, because otherwise they'll get pureed in with the chickpeas, and we want them here. So just going to, it is quite a wet mixture, so just be prepared for that. It's kind of normal. So we'll get one left over like I have here. Just build up your patty, and you don't want to make it too tall, because that's it won't cook it as quickly, and be more difficult to eat as well. So you want it to be kind of, yeah, about the same thickness. Okay, not very elegant here, Miss Jules. That's all good. So kind of pack it in together to keep it as firm as you can, and it is going to be quite wet. And then we'll just pop that in the fridge for a few minutes while we heat up our pan. I've got a pan on a medium heat to heat up, so while that's heating I'll just make my sauce. So I've just got a tub of natural yogurt here, and this is so simple it's kind of ridiculous, but you just want to give the yogurt a good stir. And you want a full fat yogurt, a Greek style yogurt, not like a low fat free or one of those horrible low fat ones. You know, yogurt doesn't have a lot of fat in it to begin with, so just about 4, maybe 6 tablespoons you go of yogurt just going in, and then just a really generous pinch of salt and a heap of pepper. And that's just having that extra salt really brings out the kind of, turns the yogurt into a really lovely savoury sauce. It kind of cancels out any of the kind of natural sweetness in the yogurt, and the pepper, you know, just gives it some fragrance and stuff. So that's a really easy sauce, but it's done now. So we'll have a look at our pan. We're going to use a bit of oil because that's going to help the patties brown. You know, I'm not so worried about sticking in this pan, but if you've got a pan that does stick, oil is your friend. But you do need a little bit of oil to get browning. So starting to smoke a little bit, and I'm just going to cook one of my patties now. So I'm just going to slide it into the pan like that, and I'm going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes each side. So while the chickpeas are cooking, while the patty's cooking, I'll make my salad. I've just got two, actually I'll just use one cucumber now because I'm just making enough for one person, but you could use two if you wanted to. And I'm just going to, I've rinsed the cucumber, I'm just going to peel it using a vegetable peeler into lovely strips, kind of ribbons, and that's going to be kind of the main part of our salad. So, and you just want to peel it down to when you get to the kind of really seedy bits, just turn it, and you're going to just discard the seeds because they're quite watery and they don't have a lot of flavour. So that's all we need to do really. I'll just get some salt in with the salad and a big scoop of pepper, and I'm just going to squeeze over some lemon juice just to freshen it up, making sure I don't get any seeds in, and I'll just toss it a little bit with my fingers, and that's salad ready to serve. Checking back on our chickpeas, it's been in for just a little bit over 2 minutes now, and I can see on the bottom it's starting to look brown, but because this is, it's quite a loose patty. The longer you cook it for on the first side, the less likely it is to fall apart when you're ready to turn. So I'm just going to leave it on probably for another 30 seconds or so, although it's starting to look quite brown, I can see, so I'm getting a little bit nervous about it, but kind of the longer you cook it here, the more likely it is to hold together. So that's been about 3 minutes. It's looking fairly cooked on the sides. I'm worried that it's going to be too brown on the bottom, so we'll just get our spatula underneath and turn it over. So, and you can see looking a little bit more golden than I'd like, but yeah, that's fine. It's going to just cook away there for probably about another 3 minutes on that side. So that's been another 3 minutes on the second side, and that feels lovely and firm. And I'll just have a little look, and yeah, it's nice and brown on the other side. It is falling apart a little bit, but that's just the nature of it. So yeah, we're good to serve.